What's up, everybody? And welcome back to another week of Connecticut Casual. You've heard me raving about them on Twitch. You've seen me use their products. And again, I am here. I'm sitting down with the Remedy. DJ Chop Sauce, cue my intro.
Connecticut Casual.
A Chic Designs jewelry store is the new hidden gem in the town of Cheshire. It specializes in silver, gold, and natural gemstone jewelry pieces. From their own unique custom designs repurposing heirloom jewelry, a nice selection of watches, to their bridal collection. Most of their pieces are designed by designer and founder Fabi Jaguar, and then handcrafted by her artisans. If you are looking for something unique and special, stop by A Chic Designs located at 1081 South Main Street in Cheshire, Connecticut, or visit their website at www.achicdesigns.com. That is ACHIQ Designs. Your style, your design.
And we're back from the intro, and I'm sitting down today with Alex, one of the owners of the Remedy. How you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, I'm here too.
Francisco's always here. When he's not here, he's somewhere. So, we're really excited to have you. I'm a huge fan of your products. A lot of us in the room and in the crew have used your products. So this is a really fun episode for me. And a lot of viewers who have been listening and have seen the rave have gone to your shop, and a lot of them have questions about, like, one guy was like, I don't like smoking weed. Is this really going to get me high? I'm like, it's not going to get you high, man. So biggest thing we really want to go over, man, how did you get into CBD first?
Well, that's a really good question. I mean, I've always been into cannabis and smoking weed. And definitely in high school, I didn't have a car, but I had weed and I had the internet. And so I would sit there and I would just be researching every last thing, all these theoretical grow cycles and methods for just growing plants compact in a closet, stuff that I was never going to do, but or I never ended up doing, but it was just really interesting. And I was always interested in just experimenting, all sorts of different compounds.
Yeah.
And just seeing how things felt. And I feel like over the years, I really kind of attuned myself to the kind of things that I'd consider to be long-term and short-term beneficial, and the things that I saw, I guess I would say only very, very niche specific uses for.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a lot of the big pharma offerings and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very, very specific uses at best.
Have you seen I'm plugging Netflix real quick. Have you seen The Pharmacist on Netflix?
No.
Check it out, man. It's all about like this pharmacist who, like, the oxycodone, like, in the early 2000s, and how it, like, was this rampant drug, and how it became the new, like, crack epidemic down in I think it was New Orleans. It was just crazy how he was just like, there are so many better things to be using, how they're overprescribed these like opioids, and how the opioid crisis really started kicking off. So
yeah, it's crazy that we use something that triggers our reward system for pain management when it's just, such an indirect way of trying to address pain.
Yeah.
And what you were saying about that, I heard something that I think like Roxy's or like Oxy 30s were created like in Russia, I think, for bodybuilders. I used to be big into bodybuilding. I go to the gym a lot and big into fitness and health. I go to the Edge usually because there's a lot of them. It's convenient.
I'll see you there.
There's a lot of them.
Or I go to Madhouse. Shout out to Madhouse in Milford, Connecticut.
Cool.
Pretty Milford.
Great little gym.
I'm up here on the Edge, doing my cardio. I shaved my beard off because my cardio's been slacking, and I was like, time for discipline.
Because it's like, I need to suffer.
Yeah, you should have. This morning I woke up and I looked at my girl and I was just like, she was just like, I'm like, do you want Neil's Donuts? And she was just like, yeah, I'd love Neil's Donuts. And then I stepped on the scale and I was just like, no, we can't get Neil's Donuts.
Oh, no.
I was just like, I gotta go shave this beard off and get some discipline back.
I gotta shave the beard off, get back on the scale again.
Yeah, well,
1 pound.
it was getting there. So if anybody's wondering why does Chris have no beard this episode, it's because I was slacking on my discipline and I had to get my I had to get my myself in check, so I shaved my beard and ran 2 miles.
Anyways,
Anyway,
back
Probably
on
helped your
topic.
aerodynamics there a little bit.
it did help. It did. There's something about like when you
Extra
have
couple miles per hour.
it's just like you get comfortable and you're like time to not be
change.
comfortable anymore. So
But back on topic.
sorry.
The Remedy. How long have you been in business for?
So as the Remedy, we opened the store in April, and I started doing things under that brand pretty much earlier last year. But for a year and a half, 2 years before that, I was working on my previous brand, which was Thread Chemistry, which was a lot more vapor, dabs. Certainly one of my first things I made was the pain topicals. There's still a similar but more rudimentary lineup, but it was kind of more branded towards the initiated, my festy people,
Yeah.
and the people that already knew what they were going for and were familiar with cannabis and THC and that kind of thing. But opening the store, I wanted to kind of make people more comfortable who weren't familiar with CBD, and who might be on the fence and who might want to come and learn. I think I really wanted the store to be of an educational experience where I
Absolutely.
could learn what the people want and they could also learn what's good for them.
Yeah, I think wasn't it you and I the first time
Yeah.
we walked in together, and your guys who worked there were super educated. They gave you samples, like they were so just smart about what they were telling us. So
Exactly.
it was like they ask you like, hey, well, just for those who are listening, like your guys are so great. First off, great salesmen. Second off, just knowledgeable about the product. So I kudos to hiring like people like that.
Awesome.
You got a solid team for
So
sure.
yeah.
Shout out TJ.
Absolutely. Like they, I'm coming in, they ask you the first thing, they're like, well, why do you want to use this? And I suffer from anxiety, depression, Fran has like physical pain. So they gave us both just separate options, for both of our, like both the issues we were suffering from. And we both tried it. We loved it. And we've just been repeat customers. So
Absolutely. And you've got everything from chocolates to topical creams to
barbecue sauce.
concentrates, which was my favorite. I got the concentrates from you. That was really good.
We actually took those dabs, Chop and I, we went to Vegas, and like I hate flying, and I'm like hitting those dabs like the whole time, and and I'm like on this plane, like I remember, wasn't there one day I did a bunch of your dabs and I couldn't stop. I was like on cloud 9, one of the happiest guys, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, it's crazy how it doesn't get you like that THC high. It gets you this just weird, like, really laid back feeling.
Yeah,
and it's just
centered and grounded.
exactly. And you
Yeah.
just feel like I don't really care in the world, and it's the
Definitely.
best, and I could still drive home.
Yeah.
Out of everything that you have, what sells the most? What do you do the most of? Is it the dry? Because I know you do have dry.
Flour, you mean?
Yeah, flour.
Generally the tinctures.
The
That's,
tinctures.
people come in, they're like, I want the oils. CBD oils. You got the oils over here. And so, yeah, it's easy. It's what people are kind of most familiar with or kind of offhand. It's that. Or we just introduced gummies.
Okay.
And that's, I feel like, the two ubiquitous association. The CBD, oh, what do you mean, those gummies? Or,
Yeah.
or the oils?
Yeah.
Those are two things for the CBDs people.
Now, what does a tincture do over vaping it? Like, why is that become? Do they hit different? Do they get into your system differently?
For sure. So you're going to get about half of the bioavailability out of a tincture that you would out of a vape cartridge.
Okay.
Out of vapor. So vapor is about 30% rate of absorption, whereas sublingual is about 14 to 17%.
Okay.
So yeah, almost twice as efficient absorption, and of course much quicker absorption.
Yeah.
So best case, underneath the tongue, you're probably going to start feeling things in about 10, 20 minutes. Whereas the vape cartridge is as you're exhaling it.
Straight into your
getting
lungs,
relief. Yeah.
Okay.
But the tincture, you're able to take a much larger dose at a given time. So it kind of evens out in that way. The tincture is going to last a fair amount longer. So you can take a dose of the tincture, and you can figure out exactly how much you need to take, maybe for your shift at work or whatever. Whereas the vape cartridge, you're kind of locked into a
As
metered
needed.
dose. Yeah.
No, I think a question that I think is important to ask for people who are trying to dive in the loop, when you vape, you get this like if you vape something, and you get an oil, the oil that's in the vape isn't tincture, correct? And you shouldn't vape a tincture, or
So sometimes I'll tell people that they could take a tincture and they could add that tincture to their vape juice or something of that sort. Obviously, it all depends what the carrier oil of the tincture is. And I mean, I've vaped a lot of weird stuff. And so,
That's a clip. I like. That's a clip.
I want that.
I've vaped raspberry ketones before,
Okay.
just to because I was trying to make some kind of like an energizing, uplifting vape. I've made melatonin vape cartridges before, which people really liked a lot. Actually, I did as well. So I've vaped a lot of really weird stuff that most people probably wouldn't be open to, and that I also wouldn't be open to again. So
Lesson learned.
yeah, definitely. But I'm here,
We're gonna
and
start calling you lab rat.
yeah, exactly. I'm always the first one in, last one out. But,
That's great.
but there's definitely, I mean, it's a dicey time with vaping in general, especially as far as public opinion goes. People are super nervous. A lot of sketchy stuff's going down. Vitamin E.
Yep.
I wouldn't have thought to use that. Not sure why someone would. Maybe just to stop oxidation. It's kind of a problem with vape cartridges. You leave in the car, it's hot and cold, back and forth. If you see your vape cartridge go from gold to a dark brown or a purple or a deep crimson, it's not a good sign. Probably shouldn't vape that again. That's actually probably the least favorite thing that I've vaped. Has never been any of the weird chemicals that I've thrown into a vape cartridge, but it's actually just been an oxidized vape cartridge.
Okay.
So something that's old.
So talking about vaping, I actually wanted to go into it because it was funny because I was hitting one of those CBD carts and my uncle Juan came up and told me that he just like shook his head. And he's like, those are just as bad as cigarettes. So to clarify that for a lot of people, because a lot of people don't research and don't care to, and they just take public opinion as truth. Could you explain what's in a vape cartridge? So I mean, obviously we know that there's like over 200 chemicals in a cigarette. You know what I mean? So let's compare what's in a cigarette versus what's in your CBD cart.
Yeah, so I can pretty confidently say that vape cartridge is nowhere near the level of a cigarette. There's
Absolutely.
a ton of stuff in cigarettes. There's nicotine, which is not great. It's gonna stiffen your arteries. It's gonna add plaque. Any firming of your arteries or vessels is gonna increase risk of cardiovascular issues.
Yep.
Plaque buildup.
Definitely.
A lot of bad things on that front. Whereas CBD is actually going to relax a lot of your arteries, which is going to make it harder for plaque to build up. There's a lot of cardiovascular benefits to CBD. Actually, they've done studies where a tissue sample of a vessel was laid down and CBD was directly applied to it, and that also relaxed it from direct exposure, which is pretty interesting because, in my opinion, a lot of the CBD's benefits are kind of secondary or
Exactly.
through certain process, indirect benefits. But ideally, what you'd want in a vape cartridge would just be CBD distillate or some sort of CBD extract. There's a lot of different ways of extracting it, and those produce different results as far as consistency goes. But really, just CBD extract, terpenes. That's essentially
Flavor.
the most that you want. Yeah, terpenes are going to add the flavor, exactly. That's what gives you the aroma of cannabis, as well as fruits, flowers, everything. Fruits, flowers.
Yeah,
it's all
the fruity
same.
cartridges.
It's all
Yeah,
the same
those are
stuff.
So yours is just
All of it. No, even gassy. That's all terps.
Okay.
Yeah, all pretty much any scent that you can get. There's weed that smells like old man's breath.
Yeah,
That's terps
yeah.
too. I've had some. It was so distinct. I'd get my friends. I'd be like, "Yeah, smell this. Think about your grandfather."
Oh god.
Or there's like cat piss smells. You ever
Ooh.
get like
Yeah,
weed bud like that? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
I
so
mean,
distinct.
Sorry, everybody. Yes, I totally had that.
I have my
before.
med card, so it's cool. I had it. I just let it expire. I'm talking about times when I had my med card.
Are you like more exclusive CBD?
As I get busier, I don't really have time to like be stoned. And if I did have time, it would be very close to the time that I'd go to bed. And one thing that I preach all the time is that THC disrupts your REM sleep cycle. So between my rigorous gym regiment and my muscle recovery needs, and just that I need to wake up sharp and ready to go, and I can't be shot in the morning anymore, really kind of eliminates that nightly smoking option. And I've really just come to prefer CBD, or at least a large amount of CBD with a small amount of THC on the side. And I find that mitigates a lot of those side effects that I'm not looking for, but also gives me a lot of the same benefits and maybe pleasure that I normally get out of it.
Okay.
I 100% agree. Like I could see it just as busy as we get. Like I'm just like, okay, guys, I haven't really smoked THC since probably like late summer of last year. Just kind of like this started taking off, and I had to make sure that these guys were, had a guy who was focused, and I had to cut it out, and that's where I was just like, I'm gonna get more on the CBD train, and I think it's done wonders for leadership as well, just keeping yourself so focused and leveled. So I definitely, see where you're coming from on that too. So it's
I'm loving the knowledge you're giving me right now. So let's deep dive into it.
I like
deeper.
It. Keep us on track, because we'll both deviate.
Yeah, I'm loving talking to this guy.
You want some more vape cartridge information? I got plenty more for
Actually,
you.
I want to go into synthetic CBD versus hemp-derived CBD.
Okay, so to be completely honest, I don't have very much personal experience with synthetic CBD.
Okay.
As far as an isolate goes, you probably wouldn't be able to tell at all. I mean, both are going to require some harsher solvents in order to be created. And obviously, it all depends as well. Like, they're modifying yeasts now to produce cannabinoids. I know a lot of like farmers are pretty butthurt about that. I think it's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm like.
So you could use the yeast and mix it with some flour and egg and bake something, and it'll just become.
No.
Edible, or?
No, I wasn't sure whether you were agreeing with me or not. No. So you yeast can produce alcohol. Okay. Yeast, like you can modify yeast to make all sorts of fun stuff. It's basically just shitting it out, and so you can just change what the input is and what the output is. Okay. Modifying the genetics of the yeast, and so they're starting to do that with cannabinoids. I know they modified a potato to start making CBD, but also made a lot of THC, so they got really stoned from that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so a lot of
stoned off a potato. Dude?
Yeah. You can do a lot of crazy stuff.
I'm not a mashed potato guy, but I would
open up a food truck.
Your boy. I'd
baked potatoes.
It may get you high, but
baked potatoes.
I'm a big hash brown fan. I think
we're marketing that.
Yes.
Once trademarked right here. baked potatoes is ours.
You heard it here first.
Exactly. Done. It's ours. Sam's got all the questions for you. He was actually super excited because he is on the biggest I got to tell him. I don't care. We were on this one. We got interviewed on this one podcast called The Pilgrims Digress, and for some reason the guy brought up, I think he brought up like marijuana and legalization, and And Fran barely talks the entire interview. And in that exact second, when he goes, "What do you guys think?" And Fran's just like, "I'll take this one." It just goes hard. And I'm like, yeah? So he's got all the questions.
That'll be
ready
out.
for
When
you.
will that be out? I don't even know.
I don't know.
We did that so long ago. It was like 2 months ago.
Where are you, man? I've been to Vegas. I had Pop Squad on the show. I got the Remedy on my show. I have all these people on my show. And I haven't even heard myself on anyone else's show.
I haven't heard myself on your show.
Exactly. What's going on here?
Anyway.
You guys need to send me this link, actually. I haven't heard myself on any other radio show that I've been on. I always miss it, or I don't know.
You'll get a link.
You'll
I
get
promise.
this.
Check it
It'll
out.
be up everywhere
I'll text it to you.
next
Awesome.
Thursday.
Perfect. There you go. I'll get that.
Hell yeah.
So
But,
I have another question for you. And so what is full spectrum, and does my gas station have it?
Who knows what your gas station has? Your gas station might have some of that synthetic stuff.
Okay.
Your gas station might just have some cold pressed hemp seed oil. That might be the best thing that your
Okay.
gas station could potentially have. I personally haven't tried any of the gas station stuff on myself. I haven't bought any of it and sent it to the lab. Although
If you were
once
not
I'm
trying
taking
it.
it up big time, I'd love to maybe start, or even somehow maybe we get going some kind of vetting site. I would love to do that.
That's sick. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Like just weed them out. Don't get this
We
one.
could have people like send us stuff, and then we could like contract out a lab
Maybe we could
to do testing
maybe,
for us.
Maybe when we're done with the interview, we'll go into our office and we'll talk a little bit
some
more.
business.
Crowdfund
I think
some stuff.
I think we got some stuff cooking. Half-Life and the Remedy.
So full spectrum though would mean that there is a representation of cannabinoids outside of CBD that would be reminiscent of what you'd get in the plant. The most full spectrum thing you can get would be the bud itself, the plant, hemp, cannabis. That's as full spectrum as it gets.
Gotcha.
Outside of that, the more you refine, the more you isolate the CBD, the further you're going to get from full spectrum. So the last thing on that, last rung of that ladder is isolate, be a 99.9% powder. And that, like I was saying, would be really indistinguishable from some synthesized CBD. But then from there, you've got a lot of products out there that say they're full spectrum, and it's a kind of gray area because you could have a tiny amount of other cannabinoids, and most of the stuff out there, I'd say. I just talked to a company on the phone, an extraction company, and they were branding some extract they had as I don't remember, something corny like hyper full spectrum or like it's like
Plus ultra full spectrum.
Yeah, exactly. Full spectrum plus variety, and what they were branding as such and selling for a considerable amount more than what I would like to pay for my raw materials, and it was about 25% less in minor cannabinoids than what I source for my products,
Gotcha.
and which I see as like basic. That's what I find a lot is like what I see is just standard fare, minimum to play at the table kind of stuff. And then I go out and I talk to other companies, I climb out from underneath my rock, and I've realized just how dismal it is out there, just how, I don't know, how little people care to really put in their products, or just how low the standards of the industry
They just want
at
to get
all
in and
are.
just they don't. Yeah.
Everyone's just trying to get in on the
Well,
gold
that comes with mass
rush.
production, when you have to
Yeah.
build things and to scale and in such large quantities. Obviously, you have to let some of that quality go.
I mean, you don't have to. And
Yeah.
if someone wants to throw some massive money out there, I could certainly throw together a mass production setup, but just would be concerned for quality.
Yeah.
It's just about homogenizing. It's not like there's all the minor cannabinoids are settling to the bottom or something, and you're scraping some off on the sides of a big vat. It's just getting high quality ingredients and putting them together, and not even necessarily like some company, we'll pay anything. We don't care about money. Like, obviously, as a business owner, we all care about money. There's a bottom line. We all need to make money. But you don't, it's not that you have to pay a ton for the best. You just have to look for it and find it.
Yeah.
And it's out there at whatever price you want because they grew way too much last year. Because
I heard, yeah, there was like an 80% surplus or something like that in the market.
Oh, it was like 100 times. Like I think, what was the figure? Like one state grew the amount of hemp that the entire country grew the year previously.
Yeah, well, there was a gold rush. Everybody started getting into it.
Yeah.
You know, well, it's huge right now.
Yeah. Well, people just aren't very much aware of economics and saturation.
Yeah.
And everyone just thinks they're gonna get in on it, but don't realize they're
don't do the
diluting the
research.
pool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't know. I mean, I guess people don't think about just adding value and doing like they think, oh, I'll just do the same thing as that guy. He's killing it. I'm just gonna do that, and we're all gonna like kill it. And there's a big thing you hear in the industry, like everyone's like, oh, there's enough room for everyone. There's plenty of room in this industry for everyone. Like we all gotta work together and stuff like that. But it's to me kind of a complacent sort of a statement that I hear, and it makes me a little sad deep down because I think, we should all be striving and trying to add value. And all I do in my products is try and constantly research other ingredients outside of even hemp and CBD and cannabinoids that can help upregulate the endocannabinoid system, potentiate the cannabinoids, or gear the products towards certain effects. Everything I do is to try and go above and beyond to just constantly add more and more. My biggest problem is just constantly trying to switch things up, add more things, finding a new vein of research, trying to add something new, and you need to like have a consistent product line in order to be a highly functioning business.
I think that's, you guys are just introducing gummies and those like more edible stuff, and I think that's really kind of like the wave to go on. When you get the snacks and all that type of stuff, I think that's really what you're doing. And, the other ideas that we talked about offline, I think that as the more you can add this CBD into stuff that the average consumer would never even like think like, oh, I'll get that stuff. If you could use CBD in your everyday life and not even realize it's CBD, it's, I think that's a big thing. Like when I walked into your shop and you had barbecue sauce, and you had like condiments, and you wouldn't even like think like, I think that's a really cool leg up. You know what I mean? Like, really innovative idea on how to, more, I guess, like deviate yourself from the competition and have that like, oh, we had this, and I haven't seen that anywhere else. And we've shopped CBD shops before. Like I said, I always end up back in your shop, but I all these places I have been, even going to Las Vegas, we went into one of the biggest dispensaries in the world where they also have a whole CBD section and no sauces, no anything like that.
Right,
Nothing
right.
like that. That's that type of thing. We went into, what was it? What was it called?
Planet 13.
Planet 13 in Vegas. We went to the
Reef dispensary.
Reef dispensary in Vegas, and all these things that, yes, they have the topical stuff like, the lotions, the soap, the bath bomb, but nothing with this edible stuff like a marinade or something like that where, now the food you consume has this like really great thing for your body that you wouldn't even realize you're taking it. You know what I mean? And I think that's something that you guys have that you'll start seeing other people that are going to want to copy it the bigger that this industry gets.
Yeah, I mean, food I think is always a big thing in the cannabis world, hemp world in general. I mean, edibles definitely primary pillar of the industry. I personally always have an issue with them just because they're such poor bioavailability and really poor gut uptake efficiency. And so I always push people away from them, and I also like steer my product line away from them, although I've yielded to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to start getting into more like granola bars. I have a really great like maca extract and CBD combination. And maca actually acts on the endocannabinoid system, and when you take maca and CBD together, it's incredible. Like I go to the gym busting out like 30-40% more reps than I would normally.
Oh, wow.
I'm like giving orders, tell me what I just have like a steel will, puts you in like a boss mindset. It just keeps you focused. It's amazing. And so I'm gonna definitely be doing some granola bars with that. we're gonna be
Let
doing
us know.
some.
Yeah.
I'll definitely hit
sure.
you guys up for that. And then I'm gonna be doing like some lozenges as well. So that's another kind of hack because that's gonna stay in your mouth. It's gonna absorb through your capillaries on your
Smart.
tongue, your gums. So that's like something gets the Alex approval. I
Yeah.
like that.
Can you put it in gum?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've thought
There
about
you
that
go.
too. And so I might also include some like tree gum resins and stuff like that, like
Yeah.
Boswellia. I'm rather obsessed with. Done a lot of research into that. Boswellic acid's so amazing. Pentacyclic triterpenoids.
You're
It's,
hitting all these words.
I'm
That
loving
I'm
this
just like,
information.
hey, you know what? I'm glad that he knows what he's talking about.
it's a terpene essentially, but a very complex terpene from this tree sap. And
Okay.
yeah, and which turns into a resin when it hardens. And I've done a lot of research into tree resins, really incredible. And those are just some of the things that I like to include in my products. We've got some Boswellia resin in the tinctures, definitely in the topicals. Yeah, it's pretty amazing what you can do with all these natural compounds, and you look up all the research, and I've got all of it on my site. You can go to www.theremedy.care, and you can look up every ingredient.
Cool.
Got why we put it in the product, and 8 to 10 references as far as studies go, and they're studies that not only apply but also approve what we're doing. I've looked at a number of other sites that have done similar things, or actually just educational sites. When I was like cross referencing some stuff and doing some of my own research or trying to kind of build out our references, and I guess I'll refrain from calling them out. But there's a certain site that has a lot of CBD information, really prominent, like one of the main ones, and they have every single symptom listed out. A little blurb on why CBD is good for it, and then some studies linked there. But I started looking through the studies, and half of them are inconclusive.
Oh
Like
man.
some of them don't have anything to do with
It's
what
just
they're
fluff.
actually talking about. Yeah. And it's purely an educational site. Like they're not selling anything at all. Like there's totally like no motive to it except
Copy
for
and
just
pasting.
For our listeners, can you elaborate more on what would CBD be good for and what is fluff? Like what people would just be like, oh, CBD is gonna be great for that. Like just so people,
There's a lot of stuff. Of course. So the primary things are going to be anxiety and stress. The endocannabinoid system is critical in just stress management. Just your body's response to its environment in general, adaptation. So physical stress, mental stress. So like you were talking about on the airplane.
Yeah.
Being freaked out and then settling down. Regulation of countless physiological functions. So you're going to have a lot of autoimmune benefits. So a lot of ailments are just based on chronic inflammation, which is basically an overreaction of your immune system. And your immune system is just blasting out these pro-inflammatory cytokines, or just inflammatory signaling molecules, and so many different diseases are based on that, and that's why there's just so many prominent diseases that people suffer from, that people find really great relief from CBD. Things like Crohn's disease is more digestive, but fibromyalgia. I'm just like, I'm hesitating because I don't want the FDA to like come after me or something. It's crazy. They'll like,
Yeah,
they're
they're
super
tough.
serious and like,
they're gonna be like, you said this, son.
I don't know. I really don't know.
We're not on national TV,
Yeah,
bud.
no, I know. Even though I'd still love to say it on national TV, but yeah, and then for pain, like any sort of like chronic pain, even eczema and psoriasis, those are inflammation based. So yeah, that's why topicals are so effective. Inflammation is just such a fundamental problem from anything from smacking your elbow on the wall,
Yeah.
to also just like mental stress bubbling up and causing physiological repercussions. And the endocannabinoid system really regulates all of that. Other fundamental things, and so far as pH, temperature. So these are things that if they vary more than a couple percent, you die.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very important collection of nerves. For example, you actually have more endocannabinoids in your brain than you do neurotransmitters. So it's pretty crazy that the mainstream medical system has largely ignored it, and also that it wasn't even really fully discovered until the 90s. Like there's a big gap in our medical knowledge.
Now, somebody who's so like, you know, one thing that you've mentioned a couple of times, you're very into fitness, you know, and are you into like nutrition and diet and stuff? So
Definitely.
they say like carbohydrates and stuff can cause a lot of inflammation in our bodies. Now, would cannabinoids help that inflammation?
Yeah,
So-
certainly.
So that's
So after
actually
like a fatty meal or a greasy meal, you can have a little.
Well, actually, fat depends on the type of fat, and it also depends on the type of carbohydrates. I'm going to complicate every
That's
topic
okay.
that
you know
we
what though?
cross
Like
over.
I think that our listeners will see the benefit in the like that you're breaking down things for them, so that you know. And I think this is a benefit for when people go to your shop, that they can sit down with you guys and be like, well, I do this, and maybe if you incorporate fitness aspect and nutrition based more. So I don't know if you have a nutritionist on staff.
No, I wish, but we definitely try and give people information, tell people a more kind of holistic or comprehensive approach to things, and don't give them the impression that, you know, this is going to be a miracle that just fixes everything. I mean, there's a lot of that, and it is a miracle for a lot of people with a lot of different conditions. But in general, I mean, you're obviously going to want to have good nutrition. You're going to want to, you know, meditate or, you know, have mindfulness, whatever sort of approach you take to mindfulness, to breath work. You know, there's fundamental things. Something I've been really liking is hot cold thermogenesis, which is just flipping back and forth from freezing cold to piping hot temperature in the shower, or going from hot sauna to a cold shower. Super good for toning your vagus nerve.
It's good for your skin too. Cold showers are good for your skin.
I know, they do say
That's
that.
what they say.
I know, it's harder to make the soap suds up in that cold shower, though.
I got a question for you. Actually, going back to the FDA, like I was gonna start making my own business, like making coils, vape coils, back in the day when it was blowing up and everything. But of course, all the regulations with the FDA, and like you would have to send them an application, which costs like thousands of dollars for each individual product or something. How does it work for you guys? Like, do you have to get each individual thing, you know, approved, and is it a process or?
So the FDA right now is just coming up with their regulations, and I have some contacts who are on that board. But essentially, the FDA is mostly just issuing warnings for companies that are making claims, and so they have like a lot of the banks and payment processors really, really nervous, which causes a lot of problems for, you know, how we were supposed to word things on a website and stuff like that. They'll try and yank our processing over like some really like minute sort of phrasings. As far as like registering for the FDA, there really isn't too much of that. We are we deal more with the DCP. As far as Connecticut goes, that's where our licensing comes from. The FDA is mostly just trying to figure out what they want to do with CBD, whether they have some kind of warnings about a dietary supplement product or food products containing CBD. Like now, California has some pretty harsh laws on that, and some places, some states are a little bit more strict about what you can add CBD to. But of course, as always, even the definition of a dietary supplement is up in the air. And, you know, you leave it to government to loosely define things and then try and enforce their loosely defined terms. So there's a lot up in the air. No one really knows what anything means, and everyone making decisions is very poorly informed. which leaves a lot of local loopholes. It leaves just really gaping holes in the legislation, and really they just need informed and neutral people to consult in government, and not big business people who have specific angles that they're trying to work, whether it's barrier to entry or promoting or eliminating certain areas of the industry. Yeah, it's a very tricky thing. But so far, haven't had any issues with the FDA personally, but pretty much every bit of the industry is super nervous about the FDA.
Yeah.
Hopefully they take a couple more years to come out with those regulations, because everyone's going to have to adapt to them. And as we've seen in California with all their constantly evolving regulations, it's cost them a lot of money, and it's been pretty foolish and hindered their cannabis industry, and to a massive degree. But back to what you guys are saying about the carbs and the fats, because I had some points on that. So fats are super important. Basically, omega-3s and 6s are precursors to endocannabinoids, so eating a fat-rich diet is super important, not only to your hormones, but also to natural endocannabinoid production. Actually, terpenes are also precursors to hormones as well. They're both made out of the same isoprene units.
Okay.
So you want to make sure you eat fats. Also, taking CBD with fat is going to make it absorb a lot better, which is why tincture is pretty great. And I'm going to be coming out with more olive oils soon, some olive oil, some oil and vinegar, dressings, and that kind of thing. Yeah, so fats are definitely very important for health, very important for cannabinoids.
Been getting into avocado oil.
Oh, there you go. There you go. A little high
Just
heat
get
frying.
a little bit more fat in there, coconut oil.
There you go. Yeah, I'll just dump some olive oil right into my smoothie every day.
They say like that because you're trying to do ketones, and do you believe in the ketogenics and?
I do some like intermittent fasting.
Yeah,
and
that's big over here in the
Yeah.
studio.
Yeah.
Dude, I was 345 pounds, and
Wow.
I dropped so much weight just by introducing intermittent and time restricted eating.
Yeah.
And like I have this app Zero that I heard on Joe Rogan's podcast, and
We love Rogan, my stores as well.
I mean, of course,
We love Rogan, but he doesn't love Connecticut.
Oh,
exactly.
I know.
So that's why it's like we got to show them
Why
cool.
we're good.
We're doing it out here.
We're trying our
We're
best.
cool.
But it goes from all different types of fasts, from like the 16-hour fast, which is probably the most traditional, to the 18, to the monk fast, which is 36-hour fasting, and like all the benefits of them. And then it goes on your mood regulation and stuff. So it's actually really like a great app. And the inventor was on Rogan, and I feel bad that I slipped his name, but I'll find the clip. But it's a pretty interesting app, and I've been tracking my stuff on there, and I just started it up again, and I already feel better. Like, when that first meal you eat, and as long as it's like a good, like more of like a fat, nutritious meal, and like actually the first thing I'll break, even though I don't think it's breaking my fast, but I have my full spectrum for the day, which is like how I like, it's like my little energizing boost. I've been getting really hardcore into avocados, like just because of how fat and good fat they are. So it's like been really like making you feel so much more energized throughout the day. And I've noticed as soon as you have like a fucking piece of bread, man, you are just like
Yeah.
the saddest guy on earth. It is crazy, dude, how you just could just go from like, yeah, I just had a bacon, egg, and cheese, I'm feeling great. And like 10 minutes later, you're like, oh my God, I hate my life.
Yeah, I feel like I get a lot of brain fog from simple carbs.
Yes,
for
dude.
sure.
And just sort of simple carbs, does CBD help with that inflammation?
Oh, yeah. CBD is going to help pretty much with any and all inflammation.
Yeah.
It's also going to help regulate your blood sugar, especially mine, because I put a CO2 extracted cinnamon in my tinctures. Nice. So that's also going to help regulate your blood sugar.
So especially, I could taste this. Is it weird that I say I could taste the cinnamon?
Oh, no,
and
it's
like,
not weird at all. It's
especially the
prominent.
night one, I could, like, I have it, and I'm like all the guys on Twitch, they'll be like, what does it taste like? And I'm just like, weirdly tastes like cinnamon. I don't
Now you know why.
Well, there we go. We have been answered. So let's spice things up a bit. Connecticut, we have not legalized marijuana, right? Actually, the funny thing about this, what Half-Life was going to be originally, we were going to fork up the money and open up our own marijuana lounge.
Nice.
But
That was when, a while in the summertime when it was like on the ballot and like it was looking promising, and then obviously Connecticut disappoints us. But
Well, know what you can do though, and which would probably be higher value at this point, is you could just do a private club. It's just a private club. Who knows what's going on?
the gray areas. I like you, Alex.
Yeah.
But
metal door, no windows.
yeah, right. So, but here's the question I've been really wanting to ask. So, with being a primary CBD company, do you guys get worried about the recreational legalization of marijuana, dispensaries that open up here that are now selling THC and CBD? Is that something that worries a small business CBD owner?
Well, no. I mean, I would sell my products at dispensaries. Also, they're very limited. Like, they're not able or willing to get very creative with their products. They're doing a lot of what I just see the whole industry doing is they're just slapping it in something, calling it a day. There's cannabinoids in there at a certain concentration. We're good. We did what we came here to do. They're not of the industry. They're business people, and maybe they find a grower and they find extractors and stuff like that. But they don't have formulators really. They don't have it's. I either find that there's people from the industry, farm side, who just want to take their crop, put it into a product. We did what we came here to do.
Right.
We grew it, so it's great. That's it. And it's like
No
it's
research,
cool.
no betterment, no.
There's not a value add there
Just
to
supply.
me because it's just there's the same 6 strains that you see being grown everywhere. You're not gonna see more than like 23% CBD. There's I haven't seen any real exceptional terpene profiles at this point. So as far as like what you're getting from the genetics that we have right now from the ground, I'm not blown away. We've got a long way to go. We really dove into this really fast. And so there aren't like boutique like you have in like California or Colorado. You'll have like some guy, he's got a shop and he's just got like some amazing shit that he's growing, and it's going for $80 an eighth because he's got some genetics that go back 20 years that he's been grooming and massaging.
That underground in Vegas. That we should have checked that.
But I mean, like, I think like East Coast, we have a long way to go. A lot of West Coast, when we went out to Vegas,
They're on it.
we got to go to Planet 13 just because I guess they're one of the biggest dispensaries.
Well, you're talking about cannabis, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was talking about hemp primarily.
Yeah, but they like would that be something that as we legalize, or if we end up do recreational legalizing, would that be something that you would add into your business?
Yeah, if I was allowed to, I would certainly love to play with THC for sure. I mean, I love like different vape cartridges. Even now, for myself, sometimes I'll take a little. Because we as a business are allowed to get hot raw materials, so we can get 80% CBD with a 3% THC, and as long as it's less than 0.3% THC when it goes out, we did what we were supposed to do. We're following the regulations. Although, like I told you earlier, there's gaping holes in those regulations, and maybe there actually isn't any, but whatever. But yeah, just even a few percent in a vape cartridge is fantastic. It's like perfect, actually. And so I'd love to be able. That's mostly what I do. Is I would just turn up the THC just a small amount. Like I'd love if they give us a little bit more wiggle room, but then it wouldn't be a nationally viable product. So I'd have to have like the local Connecticut products, and then I'd have to have the national products. It would complicate things to a little bit. But I would definitely be open to that. I would love to.
So what's the difference between CBD taken from hemp as opposed to CBD taken from cannabis? Is there like a...
There's none.
Is it the same?
A lot of... That's another, like, I think a big myth. People are really concerned with where things come from, and I think what's a lot more important is how it's extracted. Like there's a big thing like cannabis terpenes versus fruit terpenes, and certainly in order to isolate a single terpene from any source, it's going to be processed a lot. So essentially what you have is you've got terpenes and complexes of terpenes or various mixtures of terpenes are what make essential oils. So every essential oil is really just a complex mix of terpenes.
Okay.
And then but mostly what I use in my products generally are CO2 extracted and are more broad than just essential oils. They've got more dense compounds in them, which I found to be much more therapeutic. I could go on and talk about the variety of more dense compounds. But for example, like we were talking about Boswellia before, and the Boswellia resins, there's those boswellic acids. And you're not going to get those in the frankincense essential oil that you get from the boswellic acids. And my black pepper extract that I use in my product, which is like my baby, that not only has some really, really therapeutic terpenes like myrcene and beta-caryophyllene. Maybe you've heard of those. Those are like probably top
Yeah,
two.
I
definitely.
think they say black.
I've heard of that.
I think black pepper extract. I don't know. Maybe I'm confusing with something else. I think that helps with like blood pressure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so
blood pressure, inflammation, a lot of like apoptosis and cancer cells. It's really, I mean, the more I research, the more I find that like all of these natural and healthy ingredients have so many of the same properties, and all of those properties are just basically like eliminating all of the health problems that we have in the United States because we've just denied ourselves all of these things.
Well, when we're going against something like Big Pharma, it's like billions and billions of dollars. Like, you know.
And big snacks.
Exactly. They're
and Nabisco.
They are. It's going to be hard to get people, to.
That's why lobbying is really big right now
Yeah.
with those companies.
Exactly.
Yeah, we
They
really
got a lot
just
of money in the lobbyists.
Yeah, I mean, we've taken so much of the fundamental inputs that we need, like good nutrition, and all the natural things that we normally get as a human being, and we've replaced them with just a bunch of crap. And I think we all need to really do our due diligence to kind of get back to nature, and at least add those things back in the right way.
Yeah. So we have a couple of like real quick questions. We're going to call it the myth or the fact, and you would just say myth or fact to these questions. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, Fran, take it away.
If I use enough of it, I'll get high.
I mean, technically, it's a fact. I mean, if you enough of it, because you have to do a lot, and it also depends on the amount of THC. But
Okay.
in a full spectrum product, there's a certain amount of THC.
Okay. There's only one kind of CBD.
I mean, CBD,
Yeah.
but no, I mean, there's obviously various sources, like the potatoes.
All right. CO2 is the best extraction method.
It still has to be winterized with ethanol, so it's kind of a farce.
Okay. CBD can replace opioids for pain management.
Certainly.
CBD will help me lose weight.
It definitely can.
CBD works for everyone.
It should. If done correctly, it ought to work for everyone for something.
Okay.
Definitely.
CBD oil helps the body heal.
A vague assertion, but yeah, for sure. Less inflammation should help the healing process.
Okay, yeah. CBD helps with inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
All right. CBD helps get more REM sleep.
Yeah, CBD will definitely help you get a deep, restful sleep.
If I use CBD, I will fail a drug test.
No,
Okay. CBD helps anxiety,
definitely.
and CBD helps bone growth and healing.
Yeah, there's been some bone density research, especially for CBG as well.
Okay.
I'm about to get this CBGA crumble in from Oregon. Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Let me know.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
I like the concentrates of the CBD, man.
you'll.
That's how I'd like to do it.
I've
about to
heard
get
so
on this,
many
dude.
good
I'm about
things.
to.
I know. Your dabs, man. I hate to say, like, your dabs are like the best.
I had your
are,
crystal for
man.
a while.
They are like they are just so. They hit you so hard, but in this great euphoria. Like I don't know how to explain it better than that. I feel like I'm a fucking Remedy fanboy, dude. Like I love them.
We're gonna get some live rosin in soon, and we're gonna get this CBGA.
Okay.
The CBGA is actually a precursor to all cannabinoids, so it's kind of like a Russian roulette.
I'll be a lab rat on that.
It's gonna decarb, and it's gonna decarb into who knows what.
Yeah, we could do a special and come to your place.
Yeah. We could all take a drug test after we gag it and see what happens.
Yeah, I'll pick up a couple of THC tests.
Now,
Mitchell was the dollar store.
We're gonna go big. We're gonna go Walmart, duh.
Oh, the classy test.
Walmart. We're getting Walmart THC.
Oh my god, I bought so many of those in my day. But you mean I mean more opened it up, went into the Walmart bathroom, peed in it, and made sure I was gonna pass that.
Oh my!
I was a young man. But I was young, Fran. I was like 15, and I was like,
I can't say anything.
Before I went to college, my mom had me tested every week.
Oh
And at first, I stopped smoking for like 2 weeks, and then I smoked right after I took the test. Then I smoked the day after that, and then finally I smoked right up until the Tuesday before the Thursday that I was tested on. And I realized I was so rail thin then. And it was like 2 days I could clear out my system.
Nice. Yeah.
come on, really?
Yeah, I would
Me
just
too, just
chug
about.
water, niacin, vitamins.
See, I'm a big
cardio.
guy, dude. Like,
yeah, you're
body
you know what
fat.
I need? You know what helped, dude? I won't even lie. Certo, like that whole like myth that Certo gelatin. You put it in like a Gatorade bottle and you swig that down, and it does something to like I'm f***ing over here. Like every 16-year-old kid's probably like
Taking notes.
Certo Gatorade, perfect.
What even is? I don't even know what that is.
It's this. It's like a gelatin, right? So it's gelatin mix.
Oh, so it is gelatin.
It is a gelatin
Okay,
mix.
okay.
You put it into a Gatorade. You shake it up. You have to put a shot of apple cider vinegar in it.
Oh, I love cider vinegar.
I do too, but it's like
Every day
in a
in my
fucking
smoothie.
Gatorade. It's not
No,
great.
I don't drink Gatorade. The Gatorade sounds like the worst part to me.
Yes, I don't like Gatorade either.
I boil chicken feet every week to get the gelatin out of it, and I add that to my smoothies.
Dude, really?
So I'm
You are just you're in
very
there for the long-
familiar
Mad
with all
scientist.
everything else. The Gatorade, though, nah.
But pass on the Gatorade.
But you swug that down. You have to drink it in like I think like in under couple minutes right before you're gonna take the test. You have to
Yeah.
drink it. And I passed. I was like, I'm big as hell. And I was going hard, bro.
That's crazy.
So it's like Certo at your local Walmart.
Niacin was always my thing, not niacinamide, because it doesn't have that effect. When you take a bunch of niacin, you ever done that? You get all flushed, feels like crazy, your skin's crawling, it's terrible.
Don't they have?
I had a friend who used to take. I think they were like pre-workouts with niacin in it, and during the sweat,
I think they sell that
he would
at,
just drip with sweat.
they
during
sell that
working
at
out.
GNC.
Well, niacin?
Yeah.
I mean, you should
But
be able to get it.
They had this one drink at GNC. They won't sell it to this day. If you say, "What can I use to pass a drug test?" they won't sell you this drink because you're not supposed to take it. Like they
It's crazy.
It's I know. It's just like, okay, dude, I'm trying to better my life and get a job. Thanks, GNC.
How can you have an opinion of this?
Exactly. They're like, it's called Q-Carb or some crap, but it's first off disgusting. It's a detox shake that's I guess full of niacin, and it is horrible. But I've done that too, and I've passed. You're also on the toilet for
A
like
Half-Life Start
days.
does not condone the consumption of THC
Put a
when
warning.
you're getting drug tested.
You shouldn't smoke marijuana.
Don't do it.
There's also something called urine luck.
Oh,
Which I love.
The
that
first
name.
P of the day.
I had to say it just because of the name, but I think it was like 2 little vials. You're in the bathroom being the sketchiest person you could possibly be, dumping this thing into your pee.
Oh my God.
And I think
Are you
it's-
talking about from Old Glory or whatever?
I'm somewhere. I don't remember where.
Dude,
but
I
I
had
definitely
one.
got it from a
I
store.
had one. It was like a fanny pack, and it had a tube, and you just.
Oh,
Yep,
yeah, the Wizinator.
Yep.
Classic.
The Wizinator.
Yeah.
We're over it.
They sell that for golden shower purposes.
Oh my.
Dude, it's true, man. I've tried, and I know friends, and I mean, everyone except for Evan in the room has tried to pass. He's looking at you like, wimp. Alex has judged
I'm
you.
disappointed in you.
No, Evan is my good boy. That's it. He's my kin. But Yeah, dude, I think everybody has tried the quick fixes. Like you got that, like you're like, I'm trying to get this better job. I'm trying to do something. I'm gonna do whatever. I'll dish out whatever money. I drink the water. Do it all.
Unless you apply Amazon and they give you the mouth swab.
That's what, oh my god, I was literally just thinking that.
Or the hair test.
No, but actually the mouth swab doesn't do anything. I wasn't sure if, what angle you were taking with that.
I failed.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh my god, you had to be like stoned in that moment to fail that
First
test.
off, we're just gonna like. Chop is let me just tell you the scenario, right? So this was Chop. Yo, I'm about to go apply at Amazon. I'm like, oh, that's great. And he's just like, and he's hitting his cart right here. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna apply at Amazon. I'm like, the drug tester. He's just like, I got it. He probably was driving there like, I've got this. He was probably in the elevator like, it's not an issue.
In the bag.
Yeah, they're like, sir, can you please blow out your vapor? And he's just like, whatever, pal.
All right, take the swab.
He's probably chewing THC gummies right there, and they're like, sir, can you please, we're trying to do this test, and he's just like, yeah, in a second, I've got this, no problem.
A saliva test only tests whether it's in your bloodstream, which means that it's being delivered in that moment to you. And so, like, I'm trying to think of, because I think if you burn the fat, it's going to get excreted through your urine, and that's how that works. And that's why they can get you when you're fat and you smoked like months before.
Do you know, they say that
saliva, you should be good.
It comes out, you know where it really comes out of, I guess they say that where it burns the most, it comes out of your ass. I don't say poop on my podcast. Like,
Crap it out.
You crap out it faster than you pee it out. Like, so I was just like, so for big dudes,
Big shits.
yeah. Hey! What the That's how we're gonna tag this out?
Amazon's gonna start taking your shit.
Yeah, Amazon's gonna be like,
stool samples. Let me get it.
Oh, we lost that sponsorship.
Shit in this cup.
we're never gonna get sponsored by Amazon. They don't need us.
You wouldn't want to put a program up on Amazon
Oh, absolutely not. They're
Maybe
a
sticking
I would.
paper in your shits on there.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, can you please poop in this jar for me? I'd be like, I don't want this job. Not that bad. Do I need $15 an hour, sir?
I hear they work you to death over there anyway.
I heard
No.
that like the bathroom was on the opposite end of the facility, and they only give you like a specific amount of time to go to the bathrome. So like you have to run to the bathroom in order to make it back. That's what I've heard. From
Somebody
reliable
needs their
sources.
carpet, John. Run!
I've heard a lot of the tales of running around those warehouses, actually.
Well,
Yeah,
Amazon over here, I don't know who was running to the bathroom or taking their time, but my Brita was 2 days late. Needed my Brita filter, bro.
What the hell?
Yeah.
True, that 2-day shipping. I have not found that to be very reliable. I'm looking for some refunds out there.
Dude, I'll call them up.
Get
I'll
it-
be like,
get it sent to
well,
your
what is
business."
this? What is this? And they'll be like, what are you talking about, sir? I'm like, I have your Prime. And they're like, yeah, okay, sir. We're going to refund you this, and then we're going to send you one for free. And I'm like, thank you. I complained. And
I need to do that more often. I think I feel guilty because someone I went to high school with was working on the phone service. Every single day, I would see essays written about these people harassing her just weeping, writing these, and describing her salty tears.
Call centers are rough, man.
Bro,
Anywhere.
one of Nadia's family members, someone in her family, worked for Amazon and like listened to what people said to their echoes or something. Had to like sift through that and like as her job. Just
my
Yeah,
God.
all that
something
gets
like-
stored.
Hope she
All
hear
that
my
gets
echoes.
stored.
They don't even have a, oh my God, my echoes,
I'm
dude.
mean to my echo.
I'll be like, Alexa, turn off the lights, damn it! Alexa! I said game dead! And it'll be like, I don't know that song. And I'm like, you're so stupid, Alexa. I hate you. And it'll be like, do you want to add cat litter to your... No!
Yes.
Reordering until even
Yeah.
paper.
And then it's just like I have... I was on, like, one friend came over, they're like, add, like, 14 dildos to my... I'm like, oh, my... Come on, guys. Now I'm like... Then they added it to my cart, and now I'm, like, going through my Amazon, trying to buy a game, and there's, like, dildos. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's the real gold mine, though. Did you know it's like the
Dildo?
#1 seller on Amazon? I think. Is like
Really?
Sex toys. Yeah.
Well,
really?
it's because it comes in discreet packaging.
Exactly.
Yeah,
People don't want to walk into a sex shop.
Yeah, who the...
Yeah, a lot.
What is this,
It's
2007?
funny though. Sex shops are pretty funny though. You're walking.
Oh,
there,
I mean,
they've
do you
got
have
some
you
great stuff.
you from out this way or no?
Yeah, I'm from New Haven.
Yeah, I went to VIP.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Did you see the Justin Bieber?
I have not.
Justin Bieber.
Dude, can you pull up a picture of it in the chat?
Just-in-Beaver.
Oh my god.
Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
I want you to look that up and put it on the screen for everybody. For
Oh,
the
no.
Justin Bieber. Dude, I feel like the low key the best sex shop is Spencer's Gifts. They have some
Yeah,
crazy
Spencer's great.
shit there.
Actually, I want to make some boner pills. That's in the future.
CBD boner pills?
I've got some great, maybe some CBD, but
I don't
definitely
need
some
that.
good stuff. Me
I'm
neither.
okay.
Me neither. I'm not pitching it to
But
you
in 40
guys.
years,
You said it to me like you were just like, do
Hey, by the
you need
way,
these boner pills? They're CBD. You can't put on in pictures.
in 45 years, though.
Yeah, well, yeah, I would take that in 45 years. Yeah, you just like, you would, I mean, at this point, I could be like, I have my CBD, I have my boner pills, all from the Remedy. I don't even need to get Roman or Hims anymore. You just cut them all.
Hims.
Come down to the Remedy.
I get those ads. Why? I need less boners.
Alex, you're a riot. We are running out of time, bro, but you got to plug everything you got. Go
All
ahead
right,
and
guys,
say it all.
come on down to the Remedy. We got a store in Wallingford. It's 43 North Colony Road. We got a store in Middletown. It's in the Riverview Center. Go to www.theremedy.care for all your inquiries. We also are on all social media at The Remedy Cares.
Awesome. That concludes this week's episode of Connecticut Casual. See you guys later.
Later.
Connecticut Casual.